Guys, thank you for joining us. Holy Toledo. I mean, look around you guys right now. Seriously, this is the best of the best. No joke. This is an obscene amount of production in one room. Obviously, you guys are all on the invite list for a reason, doing it at a very, very high level already.
I hope everyone.
So, you know, my whole thing is consummate student, always trying to be learning. I want to learn from you guys so that we can then share it with the next person and vice versa. We want you guys to be learning with, from each other and working together. We know everyone's got a little bit of a friendly competition, and it's probably our own fault for announcing numbers every friggin' month. I don't know, and I know there's this, again, it's this friendly competition going on every single month, and it's a good thing. At the same time, guys, we're all, underneath the same umbrella. We look at you guys like our partners. We want to help you guys. We want to help you guys grow. We want to do things like we're doing here today. At the same time, we want to have a little bit of synergy in between the teams. And not just the synergy team, whatnot, like as improvement, right? But everyone working together. If there's an opportunity for one team to thrive with maybe a particular agent, and maybe that's a good opportunity, or I should say, in reverse, maybe it's a good opportunity to kind of push agents back and forth, or to help each other, or again, working together, collaborating, strategizing, because as we all know, there's a ton of business out there. Again, you guys are doing it at a high level as it is. But collectively, as a unit, we can all continue to take it to another level, right? So, this is Mark Hutchins.
They know who I am. You had to talk so they can get familiar with who you are. I'm the one that's on the forefront. The only thing Jeremy did it all, but the only thing I was really going to say is today, being a true mastermind, is take the time to learn from one another. There's so many different styles in the room, and everyone's style here is the best. Obviously, we have a bit of a biased opinion as far as our agents and our teams, but you guys truthfully are the best. So as John starts to speak, take the time, ask the questions, take the time to take notes. If you have to break out with someone in the room that you haven't met or learned from, please do so. Even take it offline after the class, because the whole idea today is to truthfully, as a unit, because we really are a unit, as Jeremy said, we're totally about competition. That's the fun part about it, but also we are a unit and we're doing this together at a seriously high level. If you look at my home group's production, we are on the top. So, kudos to everybody in the room that's here. Congratulations to everybody in the room that's here. And we're excited to have John here, and let's all learn and grow together as a unit. That's all I got.
For those who don't know John, speaker, talks and works with some of the most elite producers, on planet Earth, not just some of you guys in the room, but people all over the world, all brands, all markets, primarily in, the broker owner, team leader space, I think is where he really thrives, maybe just because there's no competition. I was just kidding.
I know how many coaches have 3 teams doing over 1,000 transactions a year, and how many don't.
But no competition for you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No competition for you. But no, in all seriousness, works again, with some of the most elite people. So, speaker, author, coach. Again, our goal is to have John come in. We worked with him for many, many years. Had a vital part in what we've done as an organization, what we've done as a company. But again, guys, you're all doing it at an incredible level. So. Again, he's a public speaker, and he's going to want to do his thing, and we're not going to want to slow him down. At the same time, we want this to be interactive. We are, obviously seeing eye to eye here in terms of wanting to facilitate a mastermind. We want your guys' input, okay? And it's almost like the masterminds that we hold, on a monthly basis. If you want to sit like a fly on the wall and soak it in and just write notes for days, totally cool. But again, a lot of you guys are recruiting at a high level, producing, have great cultures. Have created family units, within your team, doing a lot of things very, very well. So we want to hear, we want to share. The goal is that we can all share with each other and get better together. So on that note,
let's let him kick it off.
Ready to go?
John Cheplak.
Awesome. Good. Thanks, guys. Cool. Perfect. I tend to cruise around all over the place. It will start here. I'll probably lose it too in a small room. So welcome, you guys. Hello. Good afternoon. That was a little bit better. So what I want to do is just get down to specificity and get right at this thing, okay? Because I'm here to serve you. Each and every one of you has a desire to grow, and it may be growing your free time and doing the same amount of business. It may be doing more transactions. It may be doing your profits. Here's the good news with me. Currently, I coach 47 people one-on-one, 30 minutes a week, okay? And we're talking about, and this isn't, I'm here so I've got the credibility to it, but I want to let you know that, the genius in the room isn't me. I'm here to facilitate. I'm here to be a resource. I need to pull it out of you. But I'm going to tell you, anything you hear from me is going to come from the #1 RE/MAX team in the world that is my client, okay? That does 100 transactions a month, okay? Chris Lindahl, who had been number 8 in RE/MAX. We just did 150 transactions last month with 40 agents. 40 agents, 150 transactions. Justin Haver's got 35 agents up in Calgary. We did 90 transactions. And then I have a number of, probably about 20 teams right now that do 500 plus transactions. You may be sitting here saying, oh, well, that doesn't relate to me. I may be at, 10 million, or I may be at 100 transactions. It's all very, very relative. That's the one thing that you've got to know. The issues that they have at 1,000 transactions are the ones that many people, about the 300 and above, they're very, very similar. Folks that are below that level are looking to bring staffing people in. We'll touch on all of them because it's really good for those of you that are super high transaction counts to go back to those basics because we can forget them. I'll share with you a little story. These baseball players, these home run hitters, they make $20 million a year to hit home runs, right? Do you know when they go back to spring training, the first time they hit the ball, where they hit the ball from? The tee. And then where do they go to? The ball toss. And then they go to a pitcher halfway, lobbing it. And so here's what you need to know is it's not some ninja science. You're going to find out today. I'm going to share with you as I share these numbers. See, raise your hand if you really truly think you need to learn how to sell more real estate. Okay, and you're probably wrong. Probably wrong. If you're here trying to build something, and again, I don't know all of your production levels, but if you're trying to build something, that's not it. You are in the weeds. What you've got to learn how to do, and write this down and know it. If you're looking to grow something that's going to be a business and an asset, you got to understand you're no longer in the real estate business. You're in the human resource, human development, human attraction, human behavior business. Okay? Human behavior, human development, human attraction, human development business. That's it. If you don't get that, it doesn't make you good or bad, but I'll promise you won't grow. I will promise you. And these are the things that have shifted it. I'll give you some examples of the teams that I've got one right now. And again, the reason I share these stories with you, again, I'm already here because I have the relationship, so I'm not here to sell you on I'm great. I'm telling you so that you see, what I want to do is tell you a story so you can find where maybe you can fit in on the story. See, if you can find that you fit in the story and it can create a belief that you can jump in that story, the likelihood of you going out and taking action is pretty good. Does that make sense, you guys? So I'll tell you a story. I had a team that hit me up, it will be 2 years in December, had 20 agents. I get hit typically if someone's in a spot and they're stuck and they really want to go for it, or if there's a disaster that's going on. And there was a disaster going on. This is a team that was number 16 in the world in a large franchise, okay? And I got on the phone call and I said, what's going on? Told me, and because I don't come from theory, I ran a company, so I know these things before you guys know them, okay? What's going on? And he told me, I said, oh good, we're gonna start losing people soon. What? What are you talking about? Yeah, we're gonna start losing our top people. So within 3 weeks, how did you know? Number 1, number 2, number 3, gone. I said, great, we're gonna lose probably about 80% more too. How do you know these things? And it kept happening. So here's this team that's doing 500 plus transactions a year, okay? So this is gonna relate to all of you. Some of you that may be down to, you're trying to build something up, okay? It went all the way down to there were only 4 people remaining, okay? And we changed how we ran the sales meeting. We changed how we coached and trained people. We changed how we acknowledged people. Have you heard me say anything about the ninja Facebook algorithm trick? Have you heard me say anything about we bought more Zillow? Have you heard me say anything about our nurture? Have you heard me say any part of that? No. Because that's not getting in the way, but the narrative of coaches that sell you shit, that's what they have to go, production, production, production. Well, I got news for you. 99% of the problem with companies that aren't growing and teams that aren't growing is you're overtraining the death out of your people. So here's what happened. We didn't have a real estate transaction for about 12 months. Conversation. Not one. Okay? Still from the residual of this great business that he'd already had. So in 2017, okay, as we start building it back up and we'd lost those people and you've got to overcome that message in the market, bringing new people in, transitioning them over. We did $288 million in 2017. And we kept recruiting. And we kept recruiting. And we ran the sales meeting different. And we ran the training different. In a little town called Edmonton, that's based on oil, that's down 20% year to date, we're at 311 million through June. 288 to 311, 288 all of last year. And we're at 311 million year to date. And we didn't focus on the lead form or what we're paying Zillow or how many times we're hitting people. We focused on the only thing that matters. So I want to tell you that story because that's the reason that companies and teams stay stuck, is they're focused on the wrong stuff. Does that make sense, you guys? I mean, period. Period. And it's proven time again. You're in the people business. So I'm going to take you through those experiences, but the most important experiences that I want to extract is what's happening for you right now. It's very easy for me because I get compensated to go out and share the knowledge that I have from being an operator. I get paid to go out and share the knowledge I have from operating with teams that are going. I've got one that's going from from 500 million to $1 billion this year. A team. Okay. Some number one guy down in Nashville. Okay. And guess what? Do you know how many agents they had when they started? Anyone know? One themselves. They're no different than anyone in this room. And that's what you got to get. That's the key piece, but they focused on the right thing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on 4 silos. And I'm going to give you a different one. Marketing is such an overused term, and I think it's misleading to us. But there's 3 silos that are absolutely critical. Okay? So it's recruiting. All right? Training and retention. And retention, all of these, culture comes into play in all of these. It really does. So that'll be weaved in there. But there is an overarching piece or a foundational piece that you got to get, and it's where people are blowing it. It's where if you're blowing it anywhere in your business, as far as with the consumer, it's in your messaging. See, people think that it's their target, it's their scaling, it's the algorithm. I got news for you. It's not. It's your message. You can have a bad audience, okay? The wrong audience with a really, really good message, and it's going to find people. It's going to find people because the people that like it want to share it with people. Everything is about, you can do all the ninja trickery that you want to and think you know the algorithm, and Facebook even emailed you how the algorithm works. But if your message is crap, it's not going to do anything for you. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay? So I want you to write this down in everything. I want you to write it down in the way you lead your people. I want you to write it down in the way that you recruit people. I want you to write it down in your marketing that you do in advertising. I want you to write it down in every piece that you do things. It is this, okay? Message to market match. Message to market match. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay some foundational pieces for you guys on marketing that you probably haven't heard. Oh, well, every guru says that, right? That I think will be really enlightening. Who knows and I'm not going to call on you and make you script and role play it, okay? But just play with me here, okay? Who knows what to say in a listing presentation? Who knows what type of things to put out there to offer a free CMA? Who knows what to say when someone comes in an open house or try to get... Who knows all of those messages that every coach and trainer gives you? Does everyone know those ones? Here's the problem. It's a one-size-fits-all message. And I'm going to help you guys understand, okay? Who's coaching you and training you on the 95% message of the person that's not ready to hear that? Where are your dialogues and where is your content that you're continually using to pull the biggest audience over? Is anyone teaching that one? No. So I want to educate you on it, on marketing from a marketing perspective. At any point in time, and write this down, at any point in time, there are only 5% of the human beings on the planet that are either consumers or are agents, either audience, right? Are in the consideration phase. Write that down, consideration phase. Okay? Anyone know where our reputation ranks, like with used car salesmen and stuff like that? Does anyone know where we rank? Right. You know why? Excuse the expression, because we're the douchebag that shows up at the party and says, "Hi, I'm John, I sell real estate. Do you want to buy?" We're coached that. "Hi, do you know of anyone that's thinking?" That's what we're taught. That is such a low level, low intellect coaching process, because guess what? Only 5% of the people on the planet are in the consideration phase of buying anything. Here's the deal. 95% of your audience is indifferent. Write it down. They're indifferent. So what happens when you run your sales rap at these people?
They shut down.
They become annoyed. But I still get them. Listen, am I saying all the sales rap works? Sure, it works. You're spending too much money on your leads. You're spending too much time in trying to convert people, and you're having to use too many objection handlers. See, here's the deal. Everyone is fishing in the red ocean. Y'all are shooting the same target, shooting for the same target with the same arrow, and there's blood in the water. You ever heard the red ocean principle? That's what you're doing. Because you know what? We haven't been trained on how we do this. And then the other part with this part is not being consistent. Where is the greatest, who's in this business for the long run? Awesome. Where is the greatest opportunity for more money, like lots of money, okay, over a sustained period of time? Here or here? 95%. Okay, so that's the key piece that I want you guys to get. So everyone's going for the now. We're a get it quick now, okay? As a show of hands right now, does anyone, and this is where I really want to open it up, because this is where the most valuable piece is in the marketing. Does anyone right now feel like they have an initiative, a consistent messaging, a vehicle, and a cadence that is consistently pulling the 95% over into here right now? Anyone? Okay. And that's about right, how it is. Now, let me, and again, I love people that disagree. I can come passionate and strong, but it's because I believe in and I want you guys to get it. Okay. Is there anyone that disagrees that this can absolutely change the game in your business? Okay. So I want to help you with that. And let me give you guys a kicker. So y'all know that the Super Bowl ad is the most expensive ad on the planet, right? Okay, so watch this. Twice as many people log on to Facebook at 8 p.m. every night as watch a Super Bowl ad. In the U.S. Twice as many people. Okay, so that's where your audience is. So let's talk about, first thing I want to do is this, and I don't want to make you right or wrong. Talk to me about what you guys are doing so everyone can hear, because here's what happens a lot. You may know where each other is at in your business, see some things, and remember this, things aren't always as they seem, but what I'd like to do is, this is the interactive part, share with me what you're doing right now that's your most effective marketing and messaging. And this is the interactive part. I ask a question, you give an answer, okay? Yes.
My name's Cheplak. We work with business-to-business professionals. So,
B2B?
yeah, fiduciaries, attorneys, anyone in the senior world. There's the silver tsunami coming, the wave of baby boomers that are retiring. So
Okay.
we look for one resource that has multiple referrals for us.
Okay, and then how are you, so here's the piece, so how are you marketing to them? How are you messaging? What's your cadence? What's your frequency? What vehicles?
We do conferences with
Okay.
them. We're part of their associations. And then we go to the networking events within the associations. We do educational luncheons at their offices for their employees, the attorneys.
Awesome. So events.
Correct.
Great. Events are super successful. Events are super successful in recruiting. It's the number one thing right now across the board in recruiting. We're putting 100 people in a room in recruiting. I mean, and then picking and choosing who we want. Like we did a voicemail drop on a Thursday night, okay? And on Tuesday I had 100 people in the room in Minneapolis, and we could pick and choose, okay? So let me ask you this. I want to go a little bit further, and as I ask the questions, I want you guys to capture where I'm going, okay? Is this, so are you gathering their data? Do you get their names and email addresses when you come to those? So then talk to me a little bit, and again, this is a safe room. And what I'm doing is coaching, or I'm finding out that, hey, she's got it going. I'm looking for holes. As I find the holes, then you guys can see the continuum. Does that make sense? You see what I'm doing? Okay. So that's where I want to encourage your interaction. Okay. So immediately after you leave, what happens? What do you do next? How do you follow up?
Calls, emails, lunches, Popeyes.
Okay. And do you use video?
I don't follow up personally. My agents do, and I let them follow up how they want. But face-to-face is most important. Video, like in person.
Okay. So but and again, I have to be specific because this is where I move it. So yes or no, video is an initiative that you're using in your follow-up. Okay, good. I'm going to change your game, your business, your life, and everyone that listens. Because here's the issue right now. I'm going to tell you something. Y'all aren't afraid of video, you're freaking terrified. Now, that was a general comment. I shouldn't have done that because some people don't, but I'm going to tell you. Okay, you ready? And write this down and show it to your people. Okay? 50% of impact of communication is body language. So your competition's sending a text, your competition's making a phone call, your competition's doing an email, and you're going to send a video. Who's going to win? Video is going to win. Okay? You ready for this? How many words in equality? I'm telling you, if everyone got up and left right now and said, I will make video an initiative, I could go catch my flight right now. That's how big of a deal this is. That's how big of a deal it is. How many words, okay? How many words being read by a human being is 1 minute of video equal to? Throw some numbers out to me.
400, 500?
500 words?
1 million. 1.1. 1.2, I'll say 1.2. 1.6.
So keep not doing video. And I'm going to be a little bit brutal because I'm brutal because some of my large teams, I go out quarterly, and so I'll work with the agents too. And so we've got that safety where I can challenge them. And so I'll have each of them share the one thing that they want to do. The one person wants to do this thing for their child, and the other person wants to do this thing for their mom, buy their mom a house. Okay. The other person has a father that's really sick and they need money, to get the right medical care. And I said, great. So every day you don't do video, go home and look at them and say, I'm not going to be able to help you because I'm a coward. See, I don't play games, and you're not here because you play games. Your time, there's nothing more valuable than your time, and you're here, and so I have a responsibility to challenge you, okay? Let me take it a little bit further. You ever heard of the Nielsen Rating Company? Yeah. They decide what the value is of time on TV, right? You familiar with that? Okay? Nielsen Rating Company was so fascinated by video, okay, that they wanted on social media, so they studied social media. Okay, So, brand recall, name recognition. Okay. So I'll explain my Russian, okay? Brand recall. I'm writing in Russian. You can't read it. Huh? Well, it's context. Okay? Name recognition and likelihood to buy. Okay? After watching 3 seconds of video, brand recall goes up 35%. We're in a 3-second world. Okay? Name recognition, about 37%. Likelihood to buy from you, okay? About 34%. I'm going off the top of my head because I've got the graph, it's in the 30s. And guess what happens at 10 seconds? The game changes. They all go into the 40s. So with love, and I'm a little bit sarcastic, but I am a nice guy, keep not doing video. I mean, game over. And you want to know what's really cool? And I'm going to help you out with this one too. Okay, what holds people back from video? And it's pretty typical. Who'd like to do video, but you want it to come out better production. You need someone to produce it and edit it better. Yeah, right. So let's make it look like we don't look like. Let's talk to people about transparency and authenticity, but not be it. Anyone, raise your hand if you've seen a video going around the internet for about 3 years with a guy in a baseball cap talking about getting sober in a parking lot. Anyone see that one? Yeah, it's about 1.6 million views right now, me holding a selfie, doing a selfie video. It's landed more business than ever. You want to know why? Because you know what? We're not looking for a salesman. We're looking for a human being. So are you really selling people? Are you really selling an agent to join your team? Are you really selling the consumer? No, you're taught that, and that's a lie. You're building trust, okay? You're building trust. So these are the statistics. 50% of all impact of communication, okay, is body language. 50%, you can change the game. Now here's the good news too, is I sat for 3 days with the, because I think our industry is great, but you need to go outside our industry to people who are spending billions. Anyone ever see the Dollar Beard Club commercials? I sat with them for 3 days. And the producers of the Squatty Potty and the producers of Poopery, okay? And the Sketchy Girls who do the Bohemian Rhapsody on YouTube, and Kevin Harrington, okay? For 3 days, okay? 2 years ago. Because I knew how important video was, and it was purely on video. The psychological and emotional bonds that you create with video are unbelievable. Here's the other thing that we've proven too. The more you produce, there's times and places you need to do it, but the most powerful converting videos right now are the selfie walk around casual videos. And I'm talking people in my mastermind that spend $200,000 a month on Facebook ads. Okay, like Frank Kern. Anyone know who that guy is? Okay, legend. Okay, these are the realities. So what I want to say to you is good job, you're getting an audience. Number one thing you've got to go back and do is do a video initiative, and let me give you what it needs to be, and stay with this framework, and I want you guys to have this too, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to break them down in 2 to 3 minute little snippet videos, and you could do them sitting right here, and they need to be educational. That's it. Educational, once a week minimum. We've proven with Joshua Smith's database years ago that we could hit a database of 7,800 people every 3 days and still get a 47% email open rate. Spam is bullshit. And let me explain what I mean by that. Spam is not a frequency issue. Spam is a content issue. I will open your content every day if it's valuable. I've got in my software, Jeff's seen these numbers before too. 7,700, and who hates spam worse than anyone? Real estate agents. We're hitting real estate agents we hit them 10 times in 30 days, 7,700 people, and we stayed no lower than 46% email open rates. But yet email's passe. No, the way you do it's passe. And I'm going to help you with that. Anyone want some help on getting email open rates? Anyone getting 40% email open rates consistently right now? Okay. How big's your database?
We have like 420 active leads that we haven't met personally. And we hit those, and we also retarget with Facebook.
Sure. And that's good, and that's where you should be. As you go up, typically that's going to dump on you. But to retain it, you've got to have a traffic machine hitting people. They've got to be hit with other angles, okay? So number one for you that's going to change the game, because here's what you're doing. Ready, you guys? See, what we're doing is we're moving people. People are talking about the customer journey. No, what you want to do is you want to move them on the consumer journey, their life journey. So it's the continuum. Every time, all I'm looking for a consumer to do is make a micro commitment. All I'm looking for a prospect, a recruit to do is make a micro commitment. Every time you consume a little bit of my content, you just made a micro commitment. And I'm going to seed the next step, and I'm going to seed the next step, because then I don't even have to use calls to action, because you know I have programmed you in what the next obvious step is. Does that make sense, you guys? You see how you do that? See, we want to pull people along, okay? Raise your hand if you love being sold. You do?
Sold how? What do you mean by that?
Better than not being sold.
Yeah? Okay. So here's what I'd say. Here's the bad news. 99% of consumers don't want to be sold. Everyone wants to buy, no one wants to be sold. Why did Facebook change the algorithm? Because it was salesy language, didn't they? So, you better look closely at human behavior. Now, does your message match that? I can guarantee shifting in your copywriting, if you're still using salesy language, more towards story and more towards making deposits without calls to action, your lead cost will drop 40% and your conversion will double. Because write this down, there's a new rule in social engagement. It's called blend in to stand out.
I don't get that. I understand. Blend in.
Hi, do you want to buy?
Okay. I understand.
Okay. Versus,
Now I understand.
see, the one thing with me is I'm pretty clear and I know I want to get my message across.
So I got your attention, so I'm confused also. You talk about message to market match, right? And I'm a video, it makes total sense. However, as a consumer myself, when I'm in a group, there's people around, I don't let
Let's be quiet, let's listen, go ahead. You
let
what?
the video play, and if there's no words there, it's like not a message to market match with me, because it's like I don't have the time to play it and listen to these videos. So there's an answer, obviously, if you're getting all of this. So
Sure. You ready for it?
Yeah.
You're one person.
Okay.
You're one person.
Okay, semicolon, content and the message that you're saying, the message to matching with the market match, right? So what we're saying is really important.
It's everything. What you're seeing is everything.
So doing a bunch of videos that are pieces of crap is a waste of time.
Well, define piece of crap.
Yeah.
Define piece of crap. Because here's what's beautiful, right? Here's the beauty of marketing.
Inauthentic and in your face would be a waste of time.
Right, and Facebook took care of that, didn't they? And who's listening, right? So we've tested in my one mastermind, we've got guys that are spending, I think total of it, 12 people, about 2.5 million a month. Okay? Guy's the author of Facebook Guide to Advertising, Keith Krantz, Dominate Web Media. Okay? Been in his mastermind for 2 years. He's handled Frank Kern's ads until Frank Kern went inside. Handled Robert Kiyosaki's ads. Okay? These are all the real deal people. When the algorithm changed, guess what? And you guys can see this. Right, here's what's happening. Free blueprint. Guess what? Those words, they're dropping click-throughs 48%. All the old words, we did A/B testing of the sales words. Free, blueprint, tricks, secrets. The consumer being the agent you're trying to recruit, the consumer being buyers and seller, has become numb to ads. There's 6,000 messages coming to them. So is this making sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So watch this. So now you just go to human behavior. Ready? What's human behavior? Okay? We have an affinity to story. Story is crushing it. So for example, what we're finding in any messaging, whether it's emails, after 15 years of selling 1,500 homes, there's 3 things that I've discovered that are really important to homeowners. That's how you write copy now. That's how you write ads. And I'm going to tell you something too. You better be treating your caption on your Facebook like it is a blog post, like it is a news article. It is the most valuable real estate on the planet. Do you think that every word you write in a caption is read by the algorithm? Yes. Okay? And it's bidding for a spot at the top of the feed. How do you think Facebook's able to reject certain ads? Okay? So I want to come back to her piece. So what you're doing video. I'm going to tell you, if you plug video in and if you loop that in, layer that in, it's game over for you. Because what's going to happen is you're going to condense. See, what you're doing is you're building trust. There's timing, right? But there's building trust too, right? So what I want to do is I want to shorten the process, and I want to shorten the process by entering in the back door. See, the dinosaur recycled cheesy sales dialogue we keep getting sold because we'll buy it, goes in the front door, okay? And it doesn't stick. Whereas there's this thing called parasocial behavior that they studied in the 1970s, and the human brain cannot discern the difference between a moving head on a TV, a cell phone, a desktop, a laptop, an iPad. It's all TV. You're immediate authority. You're a rock star immediately, okay? So if you do that, are you, in email, is email part of it? Here's one thing I want to share with you. My suggestion, let me ask you this. How much business, if you were to project over the next 12 months, are you going to, and you guys, this pertains to all of you, so stay with me on this, okay? How much business are you projecting that you want to generate over the next 12 months from that silo of business, that alone? Yes. 30 million, okay. So you need to operate that, the follow-up, the nurturing at an enterprise level. You've got to make sure a video is going out once a week. You've got to make sure there's a phone call that's taking place once a week. Or if the frequency, what is the frequency that works? And you need to educate them. Write these things down. If you want to nurture people, don't keep asking them when you're going to do something. Ready? Educate, demonstrate, inform, entertain. Stay away from entertaining. It's risky. Educate, demonstrate, inform. Educate, demonstrate, inform. So that would be, is that helpful to you guys too? I mean, looking at your nurturing? Raise your hand if right now you, with all of your leads, are sending them one video a week. You're sending every single person in your database one video a week.
Yes.
Okay? And what's the content?
It's just value stuff like, 3 tips on
Improving your credit.
landscaping, improving your credit, buying a house,
Awesome.
selling a house, so.
And is it working well for you? What's your open rates on your emails?
Super high actually.
Oh, imagine that. Holy shit, I'm shocked. You guys, it's right there. Super high. Give you a little trick. If you start out, you got to train this. So what he's done is he's trained his audience that they're getting video because we're voyeurs. We're voyeurs. We'll pay for voyeurism. So here's what I need you to do. You got to train your audience. If you start doing video, you need to put in brackets in your subject line, new video. So if you've not trained your people, if you're not getting a 40% email open rate, which should be your absolute minimum, I don't care how big your database is, there's a lot of things you're not doing. You don't have a traffic machine. So you've got to have a traffic machine of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, phone calls, and using video. That's what's going to create your emails opening up. You've got to have it's not email standalone, okay? So let me ask you this. Are you doing any community event stuff or any local business interviews?
No.
Okay, good.
I have been. I'm sorry, I haven't.
So is it yes or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good.
But you just did it. I thought
You just did a
an
movie
event.
one.
Well, yeah, I mean, but he's saying if I'm doing.
Okay, good. So here's
I have done it.
okay. So here's what you need to do. So ready? So here's the number one thing. This number 2 thing that holds people back from growth. Okay. So you're happy with your business right now, but you want to grow it. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know what's getting in the way. Ready? Consistency. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So here's what you need to do. You need to go out and interview local businesses Okay, you interview the local business, and then you have the local business post the video on their business page, and you train them how to boost a post because they don't know how to.
That happened one time. So I did it one time, and it's been the most watched video I've ever done.
Oh, so I was right. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, like,
Shocking.
moms were sharing it. Like, people don't even know.
Right, so you and I are going to go in the hallway, and we're going to have a spiritual experience, and I'm going to give you the WTF is wrong with you then. Let me see. Right, sure. Yeah, that's a typical entrepreneur. Something works, let's do something different. That's the definition of an entrepreneur. Okay? Yeah, so, awesome, you've got it. So you need to do that. I want you to do that. I want you to do some community event stuff because you're killing it and they expect it, okay? Good job.
The owners of the teams that you coach, do they do real estate anymore, or are they
No.
doing all? Yeah.
Well, not no across the boards. The big teams, no. Mm-mm. I would say at about, I mean, some of them just have control issues and they just can't let go. And that's fine. And I wouldn't say it's a control issue because there's certain things I do in my business that are not from a highest, closest to the dollar activity for me based on what my billable hours are, but they inspire me and they fuel me, okay? I mean, when I look at one-on-one coaching, I could put all people in a group, right? You know, it's 47 people, and I mean, I'm not cheap, but, and the math is great, but I could put them all in a group and have more time to it, but there's a tremendous value in what happens in that exchange with someone that's going from 50 to 100 transactions in a month. From someone who's doing 80 and now we just went hitting 150, and now we're looking for 200. So pick your spots, okay? So, really good. Yes, ma'am.
We've been doing video for 2 years now. We have multiple YouTube videos. We're now just relooping
You were doing what?
multiple YouTube videos.
Right.
So can we just re-loop those around and just send those out, or do we have to
Well,
constantly?
how have they performed?
We're getting multiple views.
Okay, but how have they, how's, so stay, right, there we go, okay. So, no. So here's the thing with marketing, what's really good, watch this. When I start and do something in marketing, I don't know what's gonna work and neither do you. That's the really cool part. So I'm testing it and then I'm gonna read the feedback and then I'm going to adjust. Write this down, okay? Starve the ponies, feed the stallions. Starve the ponies, feed the stallions. Go all in. That's what you've got to do, okay? So what I want to do is, because we've got we're going an hour on each silo, and I want to move around. What are other people doing? Because it allows me, is that helpful to you guys to see? Here's what you need to do. You got to be hitting, if you've got bad leads, no you don't, ready? You don't have bad leads. You've got a problem in this area of your life. True or false? Because community events, local businesses, he's going to pull these people over. And he probably won't, they won't even have to interview other people. They don't need to because he's built the trust. He's building deep psychological and emotional bonds, period. People don't even go to my website to hire me anymore. I mean, they just, messages come in, they've seen the videos, and I don't negotiate. And I'm $600 for a 30-minute coaching call. I mean, that's public. Because I have continued to take people on a journey. See, we're in a reality TV world last time I checked, right? Yeah. Okay? And you know what? Just take people on the journey. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
What's your take on the podcasting with the videos?
I'll let you answer if you have to ask. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just getting into it. That's why I'm asking.
So, but what do you think the answer is?
I think it'd be great.
It's 100%. How many people in here? That's what I love doing. Anything that I'll ask you and we look around the room, it's a great opportunity. It's blue ocean. Raise your hand if you have a consistent podcast that's going out on a weekly basis.
Oh, sorry.
Raise your hand.
Valentine's just starting one too.
Yeah,
right?
he started.
Okay, good job. So but see, I like to challenge people. You may walk away and think that guy's really a dick, and that's good. I won, because if you think I'm a dick, you'll remember some of the stuff I said. Okay? Because I can come back in the room and that dude's going to be probably the only 1 + 1 more that'll raise their hand a year from now.
Right, come on.
Bro, listen, talk's cheap. We already know what you do with your business interviews. One.
Hey, I'll make this an
One.
interview for you, all right?
That's a good out. Okay. What other? Let's talk about some other marketing pieces. Things that are working, things that are not working, things you want to try. Because here's the good news too with me is listen. I've been out of last year. I was an operator. Was in 2000. I had 100 offices in 3 states. Okay, that was my job. Reported to the owners. So I haven't been an operator for 18 years. But the good news is I'm down in the trenches and I see what's happening. Okay, and the other good news too is I never talk about my income. I mean, sure, I share what I charge on coaching calls, but I brag about what I spend. I spend $120,000 a year in coaching for me. For me. Because I need to stay ahead of the game. Okay? And I need to be with people that are spending hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars that pale, compared to what agents are doing. What are you doing right now that's not working, you think should, or what are you doing that is working right now that the rest of the group could gain from, but you could add to in marketing? Wow, that much. That's cool.
What's your take on the Facebook ad changes, targeting changes, where you can't choose likely to move, like those type of anything?
I think the worst thing on the planet is to target anyone.
I think my takeaway on it too, to chime in, is that like now more than ever, maybe you guys have heard us say this, is that it's like the time to be more human than ever. All these systems, all these things, like again, you come back to video, and that's where obviously we spent a lot of time with today, is that because again, that's human, that's real. Steve, in your defense, you have probably one of the most rock solid video initiatives of anyone I've seen, with the Steve Talks Real Estate Show. So you can do that, you know how to produce it, that's fantastic, good on you. But again, it's back to the, who right now is coaching their agents to just do, or the guys that you didn't instill in production yourselves, a simple video after an open house. Talk to them, I'm talking like the most simple thing ever. Someone goes into 6 open houses, how many videos are they getting text to them after they leave from the agents? Probably zero.
Yeah.
Probably zero. But that's something simple that you can do that takes 2 seconds. But it's just the things that aren't common practice.
How many people in this room have multiple agents on their team? Raise your hand. Awesome, I love it. Okay, great. And this is, it's not making you bad. It's because I got to find out where I can go. How many of you have your agents and they're actually doing video consistently? Okay. All right. It's funny because it's like alligator arms. Like yes or no? So,
yes, we're doing it. We're not proud. We should do
would you
more.
like to go inside?
We're guilty.
Would you like to look behind the curtain of a team that does 90 transactions with 35 people? Yeah. Okay, good. So here's how training went this week. Okay, they sat in the room. Okay, and they did bomb, and guess what they had to do before they left the room? And send it. Rocket science. Rocket science. Okay? So those are the pieces that you got to know. So let me help you, because we've got a little bit of time. What other, back to you on the algorithm. Yes.
I think a great piece that we've added to our team this year, and then we started going through things, is Donald Miller's story branding.
I coach with Donald.
Yeah, so his book is amazing because our business is awesome about making ourselves the hero. We've sold so many homes, we've done so much, but we don't tell the story and how we guided the consumer to being the hero of their own story. So we've gone back and started story branding for our consumers from start to finish, so that people can see what their story was, what their experience was, rather than what my experience was. Nobody gives a shit. We want to go through it. We're so proud in this business of what we do, rather than our consumers being proud of what they accomplished through us.
So how long have you been working with Donald in your messaging? How long ago did you switch your messaging around?
9 months.
Okay, good. So here's what he's done. Watch this guy, because he's going to blow up in another 12 months, I promise you. I started working with Donald Miller 3 years ago. Okay? So here's what we do. We show up as the hero. No one wants a hero. Look at all of our past presidents. We don't elect a hero. We haven't. McCain was a hero, couldn't win. Whether you like him or not, I'm not playing politics, but if you look in history, we don't want a hero. We wake up every day, we want to be the freaking hero. There are only three subjects that matter to people. Do you know what those 3 subjects are? Me, myself, and I. Okay? And so what he's done is he's shifted. See, the consumer wakes up, and let me tell you about story. The consumer wakes up and says, I want to be a hero in the experience. Your job is to tell the story, and if you tell the story long enough and you create common ground, okay, they see where they fit on the story, They're going to choose you. You don't have to sell. Period. So you've got to find common ground. What you've got to do is this, is the algorithm will find, you know what people are doing? They're trying to outsmart the algorithm, and they're just pounding money at it. Get the right message, get the right message, get the right message, okay? Definitely the right message.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that? Do you get specific with the exact story of that buyer, of that seller? Do they give you permission to understand that?
I'd say yes. I don't even need to look at them. I'd say hell yes.
We actually have a social media form that we go through. Tomorrow we'll start a journey with a new client on the wealth building program, going through investment properties, and he signed on to have a videographer go through the process, to the conferences, to the stuff, so we can put those little teaser videos together. This is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, and telling his story and where he wants to end up, not where I want to end up, but where he wants to end up. So when we go through the investment piece with them, it's, you know, in 20 years, how much passive income do you want? And this is what we're gonna do to get you there. And this is how much money you have to start with, and this is what we need to do to go through that journey. So it's going through that piece to coach them to where they want to be. And it's not about the sale when it comes down to it. It's about what they want at the end.
So let me take you into some actual practical framing of it, right? So what I want you to think about is your avatar. What is your ideal? Could any of you tell me what your ideal customer is between 35 and 45 years old, single? That's your avatar. Who is your avatar? Okay. So say I'm working with, I want to target first-time home buyers. Ready? So here's how it goes. Here's how my video goes, which then I also can write in copy. I can write in email. I can use in podcast. If you're like most first-time home buyers, you're afraid, and you probably don't trust real estate agents because we've all had a bad experience with a bad salesperson. I agree. I understand. Do you see what I did there? I created a common ground in something we don't agree with, and I demonized the competition without talking crap about them. I understand. Then I go to authority and credibility. Let me tell you about a story about Sally. Sally felt the same way until she discovered this one thing that we do. And then when we did the one thing, this is what happened for Sally. If you could see that happen, if you'd like to see what I did there, story. And I don't have to. You can pick or choose to use specific names, but you can go back in history. You can use, let me tell you a story about Sally. It doesn't need to be your client. It could be someone else's story you used. So what you're looking to do is create a common ground in a pain, in a challenge that someone's having. Copywriting is everything. Every choice we make is based on the words we hear and the words we read. Tell me about your copywriting on a 1 to 10. Ta-da! I would say of the 6 digits I invest annually in my coaching, 90% of that is on copywriting coaches. 100%. I was in a copywriting mastermind with the War Room guys, Perry Belcher, one of the founders of Ryan Dice with Digital Marker, 3 weeks ago. I'm in another one Monday, Tuesday, that's an email one with Perry Belcher and Roland Frazier, the founders of Digital Marker. And I got to stay in there because the game is changing and words matter. They really, really matter. So is that helpful? And thank you for bringing that forward. Story brand, get the book and look at it. Story. Let me tell you why else too. I want to enter the back of the brain, okay? I'm not going religious on you, but stay with me. What's the #1 all-time bestseller? Really? How's it written? Oh, parables, stories. Oh, so we're programmed unconsciously and have an affinity to story, don't we? How many times you go, oh, can I tell you a story about Steve? Can you believe it? Boom, we're there. See, because words are part of our choice, but remember this. Here's what I want you to know in the discernment and the power between the two. All I do when I see words is I want to define what the word means. That's it. When I hear a story, I want to follow and hear the outcome. Okay? And what you're trying to do, so when you guys are writing copy, you're writing an email, or you're writing a post, I want you to think about your avatar. Your recruit. You know the challenges recruits have. You know the things they want. The good thing with long copy is that somewhere I need to have them plug in and feel that they're, hey, that's me in the story. Got it, you guys? Okay. So again, staying in the appreciation of the time, we have 1 hour silos. Who would like to know, this right here will change everything for you. And I think I'm going to blow your mind when you hear this. And I'm talking about better conversion on your videos, and lower cost, okay? So who would like to see the formula for a video that works and that will convert? Would you guys like that? Yeah. Okay, good. So keep this in mind. Educate, demonstrate, inform. We don't want to play the entertainment game. Now, and here's the good news. You know, no one's invented anything. You know, I've invested and I've taken action on it myself personally. So the Dollar Beard Club guys, their first video cost them $920 and they did $11 million in revenue off beard oil. Thank you very much. With an iPhone. And their buddy owned that warehouse. And that black limo where they cruise away into, that was another buddy's. And the motorcycle was another buddy's. And there were girlfriends, chicks they knew, that were bouncing around, you know, in the car. Okay? So, ready for this? So what did I say to you about the first 3 seconds? Do the first 3 to 10 seconds in a video really matter? Do they? Okay, so I want you guys to when I start talking, I want you to start going 1001, 1002, and 1003. Ready? Okay. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you're having a really great day. Hey, Facebook, how's it going, everyone? I just changed the game for 90% of you right now because you suck. I'm gone. I'm done. You suck. Hey, I don't know if this thing's working. Shit, it says live red. It's working. Are you blind? What the I don't know, it's sideways or forward. Have someone have a phone next to you and watch it, or have a laptop over this you can see. I mean, come on. You've got 3 to 10 seconds to hook people. Do you know the highest paid copywriters on the planet are those shitty magazines in line when you're going through the grocery store? I want you to do, this is a true homework assignment. I want you to go to the grocery store tonight or at the local mini mart, and I want you to go buy them and read the headlines. They're hooks. They're hooks. So here's what I need you guys to do. Ready? Your headline, and you got to open up. It's going to feel funny. So watch this. Look at our programming. I got rid of general TV, but it's so programmed in me, I know it. Okay, I've got Netflix, that's it, and I watch real boring shit. I'm really a nerd. That's the funny part. And you're like, dude, we can tell. Come on. Is you ready? Dwayne Wade hits a last-minute buzzer beater. Check out Sports Center at 7 p.m. Hey, I'm John Cheplak with Sports Center. Catch us at 7 p.m. 35-year-old man scales the Eiffel Tower. Hey, it's John Cheplak, and at 6 p.m. on the news, number one, you've got to open a loop of curiosity. Write it down. It's going to feel funny to you. You got to open a, hey, Facebook, really? You're so bad. Open a loop of curiosity. You got a couple choices. Number one, ask a question that you're going to that is relevant to them and you're going to answer in the video. Ask a question that's relevant to them and you're going to answer in the video, or make a compelling statement. Let me tell you one that will be running really soon. Chris Lindahl, agent sells 14 homes in her first 90 days on the team. We're reinventing how people sell real estate. Hey, it's Chris Lindahl with Chris Lindahl Real Estate. Are you a real estate agent that, and that's a true story, by the way. See what I did? That was the statement, okay? A question, okay? And now what I might do though too is when I go into that, I'm gonna do a little bit of educating. I gotta make deposits. I gotta pull you down, okay? So I'm gonna make the compelling statement or a question, open a loop of curiosity. Everyone with me on that? Step one, yes or no? Yes. Step two, introduce yourself. Step three, number one rule in copywriting, and video is copywriting too. What you say, what you write is copywriting. It's words, okay? It's words, okay? Talk to them like a second grader. It's the #1 rule in copywriting. Talk to them like a second grader. Hey everyone, it's John Cheplak with ABC Real Estate, step 2. Number 3, pivot. Tell them what you're going to... In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 tips to do this. Okay? You with me on that? Are you guys with me? Okay, so what's step 1? Hook, right? Step 2. Introduce yourself. Step 3. And what are you going to talk to them about? What's going to happen? Okay? Now you want to be a freaking ninja pro. This is where you do get ninja. Future pace them. Step 4, future pace them. Write it down. Future pace or foreshadow them. Do you want them to watch the entire video or part of it? Do you want to watch the entire video or part of it? Of course you do. The more they consume, the deeper the bond. So if you want to be a pro, you future pace them. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you a drawing that we're going to do at the end of the month. See, that's why my people's lead costs are down and conversions are up. Because your videos are getting watched in 3 seconds, 10 seconds. Mine are getting watched 100% more, 3 minutes. It's human behavior. You got to future pace them. Then you go into the video, right? And you educate them. Hit the 3 bullet points, okay? Or tell them what you're going to tell them, okay? Now here's where it gets really, really dicey. You need to stop. You know what? At a maximum, do a call to action every 4th or 5th video. They know what you're doing. They know what you're doing. Let me help you with some, let me help you how you should transition out of it. So whether you're educating this consumer or in recruiting, it's just business building tips. That's all you need to do. If you want to win, and we're going to get into the recruiting part. I want you guys to get the message. I'll show you where people are crushing it in recruiting. There's a guy in here that crushed it, following the principles, man. And what'd you do? Like 9 people in 5 weeks or something when you first started going after? Yeah, it was ridiculous. I said to George, George, you're going to have a problem. I says, we're going to get too many people too quick. He said, well, I want them by March, and this is November. George calls me, holy shit. I go, what? Dude, he hired like 8 people. I said, I told you.
Communication or connection, and I think it's the title of my first silo. Communication versus connection. How are you doing there? How do you do that?
How do you connect better?
Yeah.
It is video, period. Undeniable. Say again?
The outline of the content, the steps you just gave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, are you?
Russell, are you sending a video after everybody you meet with?
No, I'm actually not. That's where I need to make some changes to do better, but I'm doing the way I know how, and that's on phone and meeting with them in person.
Well, it's a game over video. Yeah, because here's what's happening though too. That's going to the parasocial behavior. You're on TV. See, because here's what I know: are some of the people you're meeting with interviewing with someone else before or after?
Of course. Usually both.
Usually both. How many of them, stay with me you guys, how many of them are sending a video to the agent after the interview? That would be 0, okay? So who's still going on listing presentations right now? Raise your hand. It doesn't make you bad. You're not bad because, okay? Great, and keep your hand up if every single time she followed directions. Keep your hand up. She's like, yeah, I love her. She's good. Yeah, keep your hand up if every single time after the listing presentation, when you didn't get it, but they're still thinking about it, and you send a video text. 1 person, okay? Your competition's not. So let's go to the end of that one video real quick, and we can hit back on those things. Here's where you want to pivot to. Here's where you can go to subtle calls to action. Subtle calls to action is, if you like information, feel free to reach out to me. You know what I mean? Or now in a recruiting, here's what I'll do in the recruiting space. I've got a couple different pivots in recruiting. Okay, I'm going to say, and by the way, go over to our business page. Okay, and I'm going to let you guys. I'm going to pull back the curtain on a client right now that's killing it. Okay, go over to our business page and check out some more of the business building tip videos. You'll see 45 business building tip videos on his business page, and he has 0 calls to action. Or what you might say is, hey, if these tips, are excite you and interest you and you want to learn more how to put them into play in your business, give me a call. I'll help you out. So those are subtle calls to actions. Man, when you start playing the, if you join the team, you know, now I shared with you one where I'm coming out strong with, hey, how did Chris Lindahl, you know, sell 14 homes in their first 90 days? Well, because we've been making deposits forever. The audience is freaking warm, okay? I just did this. I'll just share with you. I mean, I coach 2 teams here in the marketplace, 3 right now in the marketplace. One of them, we did not make any phone calls I said no phone calls in the first 4 weeks, only videos. Okay? I'm going to tell you how well this works. None. 1 video a week, you've seen them. I'm not going to get into names. You've seen the videos. Guaranteed. Had a guy flying from Tennessee that's never recruited in his life, isn't licensed here, got him on the phones. He recruited 7 people in 10 days. Because he's calling a warm audience. Did 1 call with me, followed the dialogues. Video is the killer. So any questions on you know, again, 1 hour of marketing, is that helpful to you guys? Is there anything else anyone else has some challenges with or that you're doing that you want to share on the marketing space? Yes, sir.
I have a question. It's very rudimentary. Okay, when you say video, and I understand the different channels how you're presenting that video, but when you're dealing with video text or video emails, are you doing one-offs in this, or are you trying to do a mass distribution of text and video at once? What medium do you use to do that?
Good. Okay, so that was 37 questions in one.
Yes. But you're a master, and you can cipher it down to like a 10-second response.
That was bullshit. Next.
That was sincere bullshit.
You're trying.
Okay.
So let me give you the simple form, okay? What I want you to do is use this high productive, here's what I know. You can build $1 million business with this freaking thing. If you'll just hold it up here and take videos of yourself. Okay, so let me give you the simple thing. Write this down. It's called the repurposing of data, okay? Make a video. Post it on your business page. Boost it to an audience. I don't go for interest groups. The algorithm will find the people. The algorithm will find the people. You want to know how the algorithm finds people? Ready? It looks at the first 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20 people that engage, and then it looks at the 30,000 data points it has on their behavior and goes finds more people like them. That's what it does. It's really simple. Let me give you another trick too. Take your freaking buttons off your boosts unless you really want to. So if we had 100,000 people in a room, what percentage of them actually consistently, if we looked at them over the last 5 years, what percentage of them really mostly just watch videos versus what percentage actually click on a learn more or send message button? What percentage do you think?
2%.
Yeah, right. But we put those on and we wonder why we don't get video views. Here's what you need to understand. When you put a button on there, that's the objective. So Facebook is going out to people that click through. So of course you're not going to get video views. When you take the button off, the objective is video views. Are you guys with me on that one? Okay? So keep that one in mind. I'm going to get a button. Oh, that's cool. You got a button. Okay? Now you're going for the red ocean. Okay? I want impact. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying put the video in YouTube and then share the link?
No, watch this. Let me finish my thing. Thank you for bringing me back. You're going to post it on your business page, Facebook. Okay? Stop bringing videos over from YouTube. You're going to get... What people don't know too, see, our mastermind goes to Facebook once a year. And Facebook ads is in Austin, Texas. Your ads get scored, your account has a score right now. So by the way, if you have any ads that were rejected, you need to go in there and delete them out because it's affecting your account score. Any ads that have not performed well, delete them out too. It affects your ad score. Okay? So number 1, you post on your business page. Number 2, you boost. Number 3, you share it to your personal page. Okay, you following with me? Number 4, you take a 1 minute or less clip of it and you post it on Instagram and you hashtag to relevant hashtags. Number 5, you take it over to YouTube and post it there. Don't bring your stuff over from YouTube. No. You're going to just get buried. That's the enemy of Facebook. Don't do it.
So you're just uploading it like how when you do a post on your business page, like if you upload a photo, you would upload the video.
On your business page. And then you're going to do an ad. And let me tell you something. And go do this, you guys. Go look at the ads that come through and then look at a boost. Which one looks more like an organic post, a boost or an ad? Red Bull spends $1 billion a year on advertising. Guess where they start every one of their ads? A boost or a post? A boost. You might pay attention to people like that. That's why I do my education outside the industry. They're a lot smarter than ours because they spend more money and test more, right? You know, I mean, Frank Kern's spending $200,000 a month personally for his personal brand, which is similar to branding ourselves out there, right? He's the logo, okay? And he's killing it with walk-around selfie videos. Continuing to, okay? Continuing to. So you're going to, so watch this too. So then you're going to put it over Instagram. You're going to put the entire one up to YouTube. You want to be in YouTube for SEO. And some people like YouTube. Now I'm cross-platform, I'm multi-platform. And then what you're going to do is you're going to email that entire video to your entire database too, okay? That's one piece of data. Now you want to be a badass? Who wants to be a badass? Good. You're going to take the video and you're going to put it inside and not get all caught up, well, I need an intro and an outro and it needs to be fancy. That's bullshit. You're going to take and you're going to put the video inside iMovie, and iMovie is going to extract an audio file, and you're going to go upload it, and you're on iTunes, and you have a podcast. And that's one piece of content. Then you really want to be a badass? About 6 days later, you send the video over to someone for $50 that turns it into a blog post, and you create a cool image, and you post that on your Facebook page. Wow, that's cool. You guys were hit with 6,000 messages a day. That's one video. Powerful, huh? But you've got to get your framing right. Your headlines and your hooks. I want you from now on, when you write a post, I want you to read the first sentence and ask yourself, so what? So what? On everything. Questions in this marketing space? Yes, Rich.
Now, do you recommend boosting all your videos or just to say the highest performing or the ones that are most commented on?
Well, you don't know they're performing until you boost them.
Well, if they get a lot of comments or shares.
Well, here's what I would say. You need to have an initiative that you're going for. If you're posting something, a video, it better be something that you're proud to put up there. You know what I mean? Now, am I saying it has to be? No, but you've got to go with intention. This is, why do a video if it's not something that's going to talk to your audience? Okay? So go for it. Here's what I would say though, 48 to 72 hours you'll know. 48 to 72 hours you'll know. And sometimes it's the video, sometimes it's your copy. One final piece on video, practically transcribe everything you say. Write it out. Long copy wins. Write it out. Yes, ma'am.
So do you think, like you talked about consistency, do you think posting the video, you're posting, like you said, 2 or 3 a week, same day, same time?
You can get away with 1 if it's rolling well. If you do 2, it's really, really good. 1's fine because you've got a huge audience. There's no way, unless you're doing humongous ad spend, that the entire audience is going to see it. You know what I mean? Because you're doing geographics. I would do geographic focus. That's it. Okay? Do geographic focus. You can get away with 1. If that thing, have another one in the can though, because watch your relevancy score and watch your cost per engagement video view. And if it's tanking, punt, pull it and put another one up there. Does that make sense? Okay?
On all these like selfie videos, you're still saying that we need to have some kind of raffle or something?
No. No, all I used is an example of, so for that was just a future pace to get you to watch it. So watch this. I'm going to share with you the, some of the things that I might do is I'm going to share with you the number 2 reason most home sellers don't like real estate agents. See what I just did there? At the very end, I'm going to share with you the number 1. I'm going to share with you the number 2 reason why agents aren't productive. I'm going to share with you the number 2 reason why agents, see what I'm doing? I mean, it's copywriting. I'm going to share with you the 3 tips on getting your home sold in this marketplace. And at the very end, I'm going to tell you a story about someone who thought their home was never going to sell and the one thing that we did that made it happen. Okay? Cool. Any more questions on the market? Was that helpful to you guys? I mean, that's fast forward on something that can make millions. You want to merge right into, where do you guys, I'm going to leave it to you guys. Do you guys want to go into training, retention, recruiting? Where would you guys like to go? It's your show, not mine. Retention. Okay, good. So what I want you to do is tell me, let's go around the room. What are you, what's that?
So we're going to reverse engineer it, make sure we retain before we recruit?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you know, what's interesting, here's what's really good, is you can't bring people in. You're going to have a turnstile. If recruiting's an inside-out job. Now, I'm not sitting here get ready, wait till it's perfect, because it's never perfect. Okay. So, but here's what I want you to do is know that I think it's easy to get people, it's tougher to keep them. Period. Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to hear some of the things that you guys are doing for retention right now. Wow, that much. This is getting exciting.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, Jenny.
All right, so much. This is my specialty on my team. I send them personal notes. We meet every week. We serve together. I meet them one-on-one.
You give them personal handwritten notes? Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
And you give them to them or you send them to their home?
Their home. And I do Snapchat them little videos, like cute ones.
You're smart.
Yeah. So
What's your retention? How many people are on your team right now? 15. And over the last 12 months, how many have you lost?
One, we asked them to leave.
Okay, good. See, okay, there you go. You're doing it right. Do you send the handwritten notes to their home? Yes. Okay, good. Do you acknowledge them publicly on Facebook? No. Do you?
I do not have it systemized, if that's what you're asking.
Have you been publicly acknowledging them? Okay, good. Because I just want them to hear. Okay, good. Publicly acknowledging agents on your team on Facebook will probably outperform the picture of your newborn baby, your puppy, and the cats. You post it on your business page, you share it to your personal page, and then the agent will come over and share it. Let me help you with a little bit of ninja recruiting right now. Who your agent that you're acknowledging for performance, who are most of their Facebook friends? Oh, the people I'm trying to recruit. Right? Okay. So that's a really, really huge one. What are some other ways? Really good. You're nailing it. You need to listen to what she's saying. It's funny because she kind of giggled, and I don't know whether she was embarrassed or felt uncomfortable. That is 100% how you do it. It's 100%. What are some other ways you guys are retaining your people? That much. Jeez. Yes.
How do you feel about?
We got a question right here real quick, and we'll go to those guys. Go ahead.
Like, what's the barrier between like hanging out with them or trying to include them in your personal life?
Oh, sure. So here's how that goes, and this was just my. I'm going to answer in an interesting way. Don't drink with them. And this comes, people in the room know I'm sober, but even when I was a drunk, okay, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober 10 years, okay? And so a lot of people that know me will be like, yeah, well, that's why you see that. No, it's the rule. There's no, I'm being extreme. Do people do it? Yeah, they do. If you want to stay safe, I think, and again, pick your spots. Man, there's more downside that can happen than upside in drinking with your agents. That's one. Never talk about your sicknesses. This is leadership. Don't talk about your health. Don't drink with them, okay? And don't talk about your romantic life with them, period. Period. They don't give a shit. You may think so. The only reason they want it is to then run with it. I'm sorry. I'm not cynical. I know. I had 100 offices in 3 states. Okay, we had an $8 billion company. You learn a lot of shit really, really quick. And 3 different dynamics. I mean, in the morning I'd be in San Francisco on Cathedral Hill. Okay, lunchtime I'd be in Berkeley. In the evening I'd be in wine country in Napa. I mean, 3 different cultures. Okay, so I think it's very important you connect with them at a deep level. I think it's super important you do things personally. I think you go hiking with them. I think you go out and do things. But I think you be very, very responsible with your boundaries. And it's a really good question because, you know, just you get too friendly, you're fucked. Yeah. I mean, you've got to stay in, and it's so easy to get comfortable. I mean, raise your hand if you've had someone that was like a family friend you weren't doing business with that turned on you in your life. Anyone ever had that one happen? You know, we don't want to raise our hands. Everyone's had it happen. Someone that's like you thought, well, I mean, people turn, man. I'm sorry. And so you've got to keep your boundaries. And I'm not saying live cynical and live, you know, be a stiff. I mean, because I am big on creating emotional and psychological bonds. Okay? What are some other ways that you guys are acknowledging your people? Okay. Oh.
We send flowers to birthdays and anniversaries.
Smart. Good. So I'm going to share with you some things that are going on that are working. Again, it's so funny because people think, you know, how's this guy? What's the ninja? 40 people doing 150 sales. Well, someone calls up and they just got back from the doctor. Hey, they're texting Chris. Hey, we just got back from the doctor and found out his cancer's clear. Oh, cool. What are you doing? We're celebrating dinner here. Oh, cool. Great. Have a nice dinner. He immediately calls the restaurant and he has the tab picked up. Constantly. Anything that he wins or gets, he gives to him. You know, a guy, Metallica tickets. You know, he got a free, he got a box at the Minnesota Vikings game. Boom, all the agents are going. Here's what I need you to study here. Here's what's going to help you in acknowledgement. Number 1, you need to go buy this book, okay? Okay, and that book is Whale Done, W-H-A-L-E Done. W-H-A-L-E Done. And the principles are accentuate the positive, redirect the negative. And it takes you through how they trained killer whales. The only animal on the planet that does not have a predator. And yet you're going to train it, okay? Accentuate the positive, redirect the negative. So I need you to study that. If you study these 2 things, you're going to get acknowledgement down. I mean, you're going to get retention down. There's a few things you need to do, okay? Number 1, there's that. Number 2, what you need to do is, why did I go blank on it? Holy shit. Oh, you need to study and internalize Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Don't sit here and go, oh, we reviewed it in high school. Well, guess what? I guarantee you're not implementing it normally. You need to run your business on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Period. Okay, now I'm going to help you with that because we go through social cycles. See, again, let's go back to the beginning where I shared with you we are in the human resource, human development, human attraction business, okay? Watch this. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? It goes all the way up to self-actualization is the ultimate. Down here is this, food, water, shelter, and those things require money, right? And then over here is belonging. We go through social cycles, you know, love, belonging, all that stuff as we move up, okay? So right now, here's what you can do because is anyone right now really worried about the economy or you guys feel things are pretty cool? Does it feel pretty safe to you right now as a whole? Sure. So does our entire society. So that one's out of the gates right now. The number 1 thing right now. So study and live by it, but right now what you need to know, we are in a social cycle right now where love, belonging, and recognition is number 1. It is number 1. See, the only reason money's an issue when you're trying to recruit people or you're having conversations because you're leading with it. You've got the fear factor. You're not connected with your people. Here's the other reason money comes up is because you haven't connected with them emotionally. You have a transactional relationship. You have not created a deep emotional, psychological bond with them. Period. Everyone wants to belong. Everyone does. And how do we do it? We acknowledge what we expect. We acknowledge what we expect. And I'm talking publicly. Now, here's what I want to help you with though too. What are some things outside of sales you expect and share with me, you guys, what are some things outside of sales you expect your team members to do? Integrity. No, what do you expect them to do? Who's got multiple people on their team? Okay, and how many of you ever have some new agents come on board? Any of you guys bring new agents on board? Okay, do some of the experienced agents ever help them out of a spirit of volunteerism? And how often do you make a big deal at the sales meeting and pull them up in front of people and talk about one of the merging values and principles? See, write this down. Train people how to behave based on how you acknowledge them. Train people how to behave based on how you acknowledge them publicly. Does that make sense, you guys? See, people don't do what you tell them to do. You've got to demonstrate it. Okay? Raise your hand if you'd like your agents to recruit other people to your team. Okay? So now put your hands up if agents have done that before. Okay? Now raise your hand if you've taken the agent that's done that and brought him up in front of everyone at a formal meeting and talked about the importance of growth. And the reason growth is important is because my job as the leader is to raise the IQ of the organization. Because if you look around the room, raise your hand, ladies and gentlemen, if being on this team, if you've gotten value from another team member supporting you. Have you? Awesome. Well, I want to bring Steve up here because Steve just brought Joe to the team, which is one of the most important things is growth. What did I just tell the team is important for them to do? So you guys are all caught up and I need to compensate people? Based on that behavior, do I have to compensate people to help me recruit? No. I showed them how to get a cookie. People want attention, man. We think it's about money. You're wrong. You're wrong. We had 6,000 agents in 3 states. And I told the owner, get rid of the compensation plan where we give agents money for recruiting. No, we're sticking with it. I said, okay, cool. We'll go your way for a year. And then we went my way for a year. I doubled recruiting because I enrolled people in the importance of it. See, when's the last time you acknowledged an experienced agent in front of the crowd for shadowing a newer agent? I want you to, so here's what I need you to all go home and do. I need you to write down a list of everything you expect your people to do that contributes to the spirit of the organization that has nothing to do with selling a house. Get it? You get what I'm saying? Like stuff in the community. Raise your hand if you have agents who do things in the community. Raise your hand the last time you pulled them up in front of the sales meeting and acknowledged them and told everyone how much of a wonderful person they are and that contributes to us as a whole. That's why I work with the people that do 100 plus, because we do those things, because it's the human business. It's not a transaction business. And you can exponentially grow when people see that. They want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of it. My one culture, they change brands. And here's what happens when a big company, it's like 40 people, totally changed and moved. And I'm going to tell you this, when a company goes from one to another, an entire team, by law, you lose 30% of your people, right? Okay? We lost no one. And the old company was hammering them, calling them. But because we're operating this way. So you guys capturing this thing on acknowledgement? I want you to write down what do you expect? Do you expect experienced people to help new people? Then you need to acknowledge the experienced person in front of the room, call them up and acknowledge them. Do you expect people to help you recruit? Then you need to pull them up in front of the room every time they even give you a name or anytime you've interviewed someone. See how easy this gets, you guys? Because write this down. Everyone wants a cookie, man. Everyone wants a cookie. We want attention. Why is social media so popular? Because I can get a like. Their dopamine is released when people get a like. Imagine pulling them up in front of people. Here's the other thing I need you to do too. I need you to do it in meetings. I need you to do it on social media. And when you do it on social media, I need you to put their picture up every time, not just write about it. Okay? You need to write about someone's first sale. You need to write about someone who got 3 sales in a week. Okay? You need to write about someone who got a customer service consistency award. You need to write about someone, are you guys catching my vibe on how you retain people? Okay. Here's the other ninja piece, and this is a system. Okay? And it's called the feedback loop mechanism. Russell, did you guys know? I don't think I gave this to you guys. Okay. Because I was only with you guys 12 weeks. So Jeff's done it. I think Jeff's seen it, the feedback loop. On a quarterly basis, see, You think people want a different split? You think people want, they complain? No, here's what you need to know. People just want to be heard. They want to be heard. And we avoid things, and this is the thing with retention. So there's this thing called the feedback loop mechanism. Write it down. So what I need you guys to do is I need you to go back to your group and your team. Okay? And write this down. Dear whatever your name is, write it down. Number 1, please keep doing. I need you to go down about 3 or 4 lines. Number 2, please start doing. Number 3, please stop doing. And now I'm going to role play this as if you want me to role play it so you know how to present it at the same time instead of just teaching. So I'm going to role play how you do this so you go back, okay? So let me start it. I'm going to give you guys the framework, okay? And then number 4, here's how I will support the growth of the team or the company. This is a game changer. And it's in every one of my companies and teams that grow exponentially, okay? So I'm going to walk in the sales meeting. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call everyone and say, hey, we've got a really important meeting tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you. There's some things we're going to cover. You got to call everyone. I had 130 agents in office. I personally called every one of them. And that office went from 1,000 closings to 1,483 in 1998 before we had email. Okay? And the market was only up 13%. It's easy to tell people you grow. What'd the market do? I beat the market by 35%. And I used this then, it's being used today. And I called each and every one of them. And by the way, if you're having poor attendance at your sales meeting sucks, or you're a bad leader. By the way. It's kind of like a football team or a basketball team that has poor attendance. They suck. And let me tell you something, there's probably nothing more important than your sales meeting because it's the one time that you stand up and you declare your vision and you acknowledge what you want people to do. I mean, you should be haunted that for the 6 days between your sales meeting on how damn good it better be. You better be if you want to grow. I had 90% attendance with 130 people, which is unheard of in that size. So you get them all enrolled. They show up, and you say, "We are going." So here's how you make it very important. You're going to do this on a quarterly basis, and you make it very, very clear to them. Okay. What we're going to do is and you're going to piss them off too, because I wanted this in the meeting, blah blah blah. You're going to blow off everything else in the meeting, everything else, all the ritual, all the crap. No. The most important thing that I can do as a leader is get your consistent feedback. I believe in it. I'm giving you language patterns right now, so you best be right. Oh, you got it on video. The most important thing for me to do as a leader is run a bottom-up organization instead of top-down, okay? And I need your feedback on a quarterly basis. See, help me help you. Without knowing where you're at, I can't serve and support you. So we're going to start going forward as an organization what we call the feedback loop mechanism, okay? I'm passing out a document to you, and you'll see in the document it says, please keep doing, please start doing, please stop doing, here's how I support. What I would like you to do is this. You're going to take the time, this entire meeting, it's all it's committed to, and you're going to write down, please start doing, and I don't care what order you guys do it. What are we not doing as a team, as a company, whatever, that you'd like us to start doing? Anything. Because if you don't share, I can't help you. Does it mean I'm going to change it? No. But I need to know where you're at so we can at least have clear communication. Maybe there's some things that you're not clear on. Please start doing. Number 2, please stop doing. What are we doing as a team or a company that you don't like? Please stop doing. Please start, please stop. Okay? Please keep doing. What is it that you like that we are doing and you'd like us to continue doing? And number 4, listen to my language. I'm giving you the opportunity, I believe in completing the circle and mutual accountability. I'd like to know what each and every one of you are going to do to help support the growth of the company or the team. Dun, 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 dun. So here's how we're going to support you in the growth. So take your time. When you're done, I'm going to take it. No, you're not. You're not going to take it with you. You're going to finish it here. And I'm going to tell you something. I've done this for 18 years now, and I have people say, send me them. The people I coach, send me them. I want to see because I can tell where an organization is. Some of them took them away. I go, that wasn't in the directions. Because you're not getting them back, are you? No. I emailed them to them. That wasn't in the directions. And the people, ready for this? The people that don't attend, they don't get them emailed to them. It's time you stand up and you be a leader and you let people know. Right? Okay? So, when you're done, go ahead and pass them in. Dismissed. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to review them for the next 2 weeks. Okay? And I'll deliver back to you my responses. You might be going, oh my God, we got so many people. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll deliver back my responses. Here's what I want you guys to know. As leaders that'll deliver back the responses, you'll take that same form where it's blank. You're going to find, I had 130 people. Do you think there were 130 different things under Please Start, or do you think there was about 6 or 7 main areas? I'd write down the 6 or 7 main areas and I'd respond underneath it on the Please Start doing. Hey, that's a great idea. Watch this. Whoever would like to do that, start a work group and you guys can meet and then come back to me with what your plan is. Da-da-da-da. So you got to be a delegator, man. I love it. Present it to me, get the group together, the collective genius, bring it back to me. Please stop doing. No, we're not going to stop charging a technology fee, because to stay ahead of the game, the margins, and here's how I talk to my agents, the margins continue to apply pressure to us as they do you, so we're investing in this together. That's how I responded to my agents about technology. It's called the truth, not the disco dance. And do you think I had a lot of problems? No. No, because they got heard and they got the answer. They got heard and they got the answer. So please start, please stop. So I'm going to respond back to you. So what you'll do is you'll look at them all and you'll find maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 common areas. Okay, if they bring something forward, say, hey, Laura, that's a great idea. You know, why don't you get a group of people together and put it together and see what it would look like and present it to me? Because if it looks like something that makes sense and can get a return, I'm open-minded. That's the power of the collective genius. How often do they go have that meeting and make it happen? Never. But they were heard. They were heard. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to review those. You're going to create the document, just the please start, please stop, please keep doing. Okay? So you're going to come back to the sales meeting. And then the fourth document, the fourth one, here's what I'm going to support. You're going to take all those responses, you're going to put them on one document, list them all out. In 2 weeks, you'll come back. And if you don't deliver back in 2 weeks and you try and extend it, you know, you're not a leader. You got an L on your head and it doesn't stand for leader. It stands for loser and liar. You can't tell people you're going to do something and not do it, because you know what else you told them if you don't deliver in 2 weeks? You told them their feedback doesn't matter. Right? You told them their feedback doesn't matter. Okay? So here's how it's going to go. You're going to have the one document prepared that has everyone following with me? The response is please start, please stop, please keep doing. This is the game changer retention holder, because you get rid of the vapor that's out there. Because watch what happens now for the next 90 days when someone comes to me complaining about stuff. Oh, really? You didn't tell me about that at the feedback loop. Oh, that's right. You weren't at the sales meeting, were you? Where we did that. So let me ask you this. Can I get you to recommit to coming to the sales meetings? Be a leader. The only reason that you might feel bad about asking people to come to the sales meeting is you don't feel confident in the value you're giving your people at your meeting. Dun, 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 dun. Because you believe it's boring and sucks too. I mean, if you want to be a leader, you got to know, listen, where were you? Okay? Are you committed? I'm committed. Well, let me ask you this. If you were me, what would you do different in the sales meeting? Well, they really suck. Wow, thanks for the feedback. I mean, maybe you need to go there. I mean, that's how I grew. You know, the other big question I want you guys to go back, I'm going to challenge you to. I want you to go back and ask your people this question without any rebuttals. Ready? Hey, just checking in. How am I doing in my job of leading you? And shut your mouth. And listen. And then, you know how you respond to whatever they say? Tell me more. What else? What would you do different if you were me? That retains people. Because you listen. The owner of my company was ruthless. The mentor, I hated every day working for him. I loved him every day after, because he grew me. I was a kid, 31, 32-year-old kid running this big company. He said, I want you to go take off for a month. I want you to go out to all 50 of our company-owned stores here. I don't want you to go sit down for a day, and I want you to sit with each manager and say, you know, half day and say, how am I doing in my job? What would you do different from me? And you can't rebut or say nothing. You just need to take notes. And here's the really cool thing, is you find out where you are or you're not, because how can you change where you're at if you don't know? See, write this down. Move towards conflict, you'll always avoid drama. Move towards conflict, you'll avoid drama. Because when you're moving towards the conflict, you're getting resolution. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay? So it's the day of the meeting. You have your staff ready at the beginning of the sales meeting to push send on the email that has the things they like, they don't like, they want changed. Okay? You're going to come to the sales meeting, though, with the one document that lists all the things that they're going to do to help you grow the company. Are you guys with me on the discernment there? Yes or no?
Say it again, please.
Okay.
So you're not gonna, that day, 2 weeks later, or a week later, when you're coming back to the meeting.
Give yourself 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Instead of coming back and having an individual conversation with each team member, or having a group discussion about, here's everything, and regurgitating it back to them, you are only giving them the things that they're gonna do to the team, but you emailed them the key things that you learned from their initial form.
I'm going to list all the feedback they gave me on the initial form, the 3 items, start, stop, keep doing, okay?
Right.
And my responses to all of them on that document too.
Okay.
So they'll all be there. I'm going to come back to the meeting, okay, and let them know, thank you so much. As promised, check your email at the end of the meeting. The responses to that have been emailed to you. Are you guys with me on that? Follow it to the T. Everyone's with me? I mean, this is a game changer. I don't come in here in the time that I'm in here with stuff that just sounds good to fill space. Okay? You gotta nail this thing. Excellent. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass out a document to you that lists all the things that you said, and you list everything they said they would do to help the growth of the team or the company. What's the more powerful voice, theirs or yours? Yes. When you can get your people to share, okay, what you want to have happen in the organization, you're going to win. Now, here's what's happened. Here's the beauty of it. You've given everyone an opportunity to be heard. Now, here's what I need to challenge you to do, though, too, is part of retention is you've got to constantly be re-enrolling your people. So here's a little thing to do, too, and it's up to you. I did it. So what happened at my sales meeting, see, because if you come to all of my sales meetings and I am nailing it, like I didn't sleep the night before my sales meetings, and I'm nailing it, am I going to create deeper bonds with you? Okay. So guess what? I was so gutsy. Maybe not so gutsy. And it's just little formalities, symbolism. I started having a clipboard just pass. Hey, is a clipboard just signed in that you're here at the sales meeting? Oh, he's not fucking around. This guy wants us to be here. Just, you got to look at symbolism. So I passed a clipboard around. Now, do you think the clipboard went around the room before the sales meeting was over? Sure. Guess where the clipboard went? Anyone want to guess? To the lead admin up front, and she cross-references the people on the roster that weren't there. And you ready for the script? Here's the script. Ready? Hey, Joey, it's Sally at the office. John wanted me to call. Is everything okay? Yeah, why? Oh, we missed you. We're missing you at the sales meeting. Guess what happened the rest of that day and that afternoon to me? Hey, John, sorry I missed it. Hey, yeah, okay, good. Say, listen, and so watch this. Are there some of you here that like to get, you got to be transparent, like to get better attendance at your sales meetings or trainings and stuff? Are there some of you? That's a yes or no? Yes. Okay, good. Don't be embarrassed, man. Listen, it's the reason I have 5 coaches, because I can do a lot of things better, okay? I mean, one of the things I'll tell you too, the higher up in production I see people go, the more transparent they are and the more open they are. These guys that are doing, like 100 a month, 80, 90, 100 a month, 150, these guys, they're just like, learning, okay? So here's what you do. You recommit and you re-enroll. Russell, first of all, it's really important for me to have you at that 1 hour a week that we bring the team together. And what I also know too, it's my responsibility to bring value, and I'm recommitting to bringing value at those meetings. Can I get you to recommit to come to the meetings?
Absolutely.
That's a leader, not just here's the schedule, you should come. You've got to re-enroll your people. Does that make sense, you guys? See, that's the work. If I can get you, see, I spent more time getting you to participate in the things, in the micro commitments that I want, instead of chasing your ass all over the place. I always had context. And was I a micromanager? No, because I am not. And I'm not saying, listen, there's nothing that doesn't work, but huddling people every day, KPIing people every day, and all that crap, you're working too hard and you're actually reducing the per person productivity that could have. That's my opinion. Are there people who can prove that wrong? Yeah, not many. Because guess how many trainings we're doing a week in these teams that are doing 90 to 100 transactions, 80, 90, and 150. Anyone want to guess how many times we're training the agents a week? And guess how long that training is? Great. And then we do one accountability commitment group meeting, which I'm going to take you guys through how to do those, okay? Once. And one sales meeting. We're not KPIing and huddling and meeting, death by meeting people. Okay? I'm going to share a story with you because it's part of production, it's part of retention and part of production, okay? A little study was done. They took two groups of, I think, about 30 people, okay? And so they were given this paper to study. So this group over here, they got to have it and study it 4 times for a certain time frame. I think it was a week. They were not tested, though. Okay. This group over here, and this might help you, because this is how I do ISAs. ISAs get like 2 hours of training. They're on the phone in the afternoon. What are you waiting for? What the hell are you waiting for? This group here, they got to study it once. They got tested 3 times. Then everyone came back around later on this specific date. Test. Which group outperformed the other group by 50%? Stop overtraining your freaking people. You're overtraining your people because you're afraid to come back at them and hold them accountable to do what they're not doing. What you've probably got in your organization are incomplete circles. You keep opening these loops. You've got open loops, open loops, open loops. And I won't put you on the spot, but just think about it. You probably laugh outside. How many trainings have you done? And then you give them another training when you know they haven't even taken action on the last training and completed it and built that skill set and played it out all the way. It's called everyone. And that's the issue. Because we don't want to, it's got to feel good to them. It's got to be, let me tell you what feels good to people. Being acknowledged, feeling that you care for them, and freaking production. Because you know what we're doing? We're overwhelming people. We're giving them more, giving them more, giving them more. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay. So I got off a little bit there on the retention. So here's what's beautiful. Let's come back to that feedback loop mechanism. So you're going to pass out, here are the things, okay, that we're going to do. You read them one at a time. All the things that they said they would do to help grow the organization. Read them out one at a time. Let them know to check their email, and then let them know that we'll be doing the feedback loop in another 90 days. And thank you so much for your input. By the way, was the exercise valuable? Okay? And you have them share what they did. Question?
Feedback anonymous or no?
They can choose to. Don't matter. And thank you for asking that, because there's, what I'm doing is, usually that's a training that takes a long time to go. I gave you that thing quick. I'm trying to get as much stuff in as I can in a short time. Part of your framing in the language is, first of all, here's what I need to know. I need you guys to know is a safe environment. I can't change and support you if you're not open with me. There's no judgment in this, so please give me all your feedback. If you'd like to leave your name, that's great. If not, that's fine too. So, yeah, either way. There's all kinds of thoughts that people have on that, on whether stuff should be anonymous or not, right? Any questions on that? That one right there. See, watch this. The scary thing is not what you know is wrong. The scary thing is what you don't know is wrong. The scary thing is what you don't know is wrong. And so when we can start moving the organization where people can come, and then it's training people to be responsible though too, because every one of you's got I'm going to tell you this right now. The number one person that you will never be able to move to productivity is the victim. If you got someone in your team that's blaming, just put yourself out of your misery, fire them. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're just keeping them on the roster because you need to keep enough people on the roster. You need to get rid of them. Do them a favor, okay? We get into recruiting, we're going to talk about the two things that matter. I mean, you can Briggs-Meyer people, you can freaking DISC people, you can StrengthsFinder people, you can do every test in the world. And personally, in my opinion, they're all a joke. Because if they worked, someone would have followed them and it'd have per person productivity through the roof and never lose someone. Ta-da! I have a problem with telling the truth. But there's two questions that we'll get into as far as recruiting is concerned. Let me wrap up on the retention stuff, and then any other questions you guys have. I'm going to tell you something. It is, recruiting is an inside-out job. Your best recruiters are your people. The other thing that you need to do is you need to, in your retention part, is you need to constantly, another really good exercise to do, and I would say do this, I do it once a month. Call it your acknowledgement exchange. Okay, and let me give you this one. And you always do these things at the end of the meeting, okay? I'll give you the framework of the sales meeting too, because the sales meeting is really a big part of your retention. Acknowledgement exchange. So you got to frame it this way. So, ladies and gentlemen, and use this language. The whole is bigger than the part. This team, this company is bigger than me. It's bigger than all of you. Each and one of us individuals serves the whole. And what we know is when we serve the whole, the part gets back tenfold. And so I think it's important that we recognize in our day-to-day, I know we're all appreciative, but what I'd like to do is end every month at the end of our sales meeting. Maybe you want to do it weekly. We'd like to do an acknowledgement exchange. So just point out around the room, look around the room, point out someone that's really supported you somehow, whether it's personally or professionally, and let them do the talking. Let them tell each other how great the freaking team is. The critical piece in leadership is facilitating. See, we think we need to be heard. It comes back to Donald Miller and his work. I mean, when you look at copywriting, when you look at experiences, listen, no one woke up hoping you'd be a hero today. They woke up hoping they could be a hero and they could find a guide. Now, is there a fine line in there? Yes, you've got to put authority in there and you pick your spots, but you get what I'm saying? Are you someone walking beside me and taking me alongside me to get where I want to get? Are you my partner? Okay? Let me give you a sales meeting framework. It's a 3-stepper. It's super easy. Number one, if you do it over an hour, you're just killing people. Number two, it's a 3-step. It's got to be a trajectory, okay? You start low and end high. It's called demand curve. So at the end, they're excited to come back, okay? Law of primacy, law of recency, okay? Law of recency is more important, the last thing we remember in a sales meeting. So here's how you start. You get through all the crap, any new listings, any administrative stuff, any of the stuff that's not sexy, you get rid of that. So that's the first step one. Get rid of all that stuff. Any admin updates, any of that type of stuff you need to update people on. Software updates, training calendar, all that stuff. Step two is a 20 to 30 minute training thing. How do you decide what it is? You listen to your people. What's the experience your people are having the greatest challenge with in the last 7 days? What's the question your people are coming to you on the most? What's the area they're falling down on the most? And guess what? It doesn't need to be sexy, because if it was the same last week and they're still falling down, do it again. Don't fall into the trap that you need to validate yourself by doing a new sexy thing. You need to validate yourself by getting your people to do what's going to get them productive. With me? But you know that, I fell in that, you get that trap, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I got to think of something new. No, I need to make sure, have they closed the loop on this thing and mastered it, at least to a level where they're taking action? Okay? So that's the middle part. The third part is acknowledgement. Acknowledge people are doing things in the community. Acknowledge people that sold more real estate. Acknowledge someone that helped bring an agent over to the company and the team. Acknowledge, be looking. You need to be a freaking creeper, a stalker. You need to look for everything. You need to listen to things. You need to have your admin people listening to things. Where someone went through a challenge and someone got a flat tire and Joey went over there and helped her at midnight that no one talked about, but they know. You need to be a freaking stalker of that stuff. Because if people hear that and know that, does that let them see, wow, this is kind of a social class and community I want to be a part of or not? And that's the psychology of it. And that's what we're seeing happen. Had a situation where someone was worried about, they had some crime that took place and they brought someone into the team to talk about security systems. And there was a story that came out from someone in the group. It's really scary of an experience and how they're living. The team leader bought a security system for that person's entire house. Fed another team member. He didn't tell everyone. Fed another team member for the holidays who went through a tough. People just. And I'm not saying it's like dole stuff. I mean, just you guys just have a pulse. Have a pulse. Your people. Now, are people going to screw you? Yes. No, they're not. No, they're not. They screw themselves. You got to attach to the process and detach from the outcome. People are going to leave you. And I want you to remember this. It's not how you say hello, it's how you say goodbye. If you're going to get pissed off at someone that kicked butt and walks in and says, you know what, thank you, I need to go do this on my own. Oh, you were only the one allowed to do it, but they can't? You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous and you're embarrassing. And the only reason you're pissed is you're not recruiting consistently and you're all about you. So shame on you. Okay? I mean, we've got it to a point where someone wants to leave. We had one person leave one of the teams, and guess what we did? This you don't normally do. Like a productive person on a team, and like took their picture, announced it, and said goodbye and wished them the best as they were going to go do their own thing. So you say goodbye. Because people are watching that stuff. We're watching it so closely. You know what you say when someone leaves, even if they're a jerk? If you were me, what would you would have done differently? If you were me, what would you have done differently? What else? Tell me more. And if they're full of shit, that's okay. Great. They smoke too much weed. They're screwed up. I'm not saying smoking weed's good or bad. I'm just saying they're hallucinating. I mean, I'm 100% clean. The only reason I'm clean is because I have to be. I have no choice. I don't know how to behave. It's just the truth. People say, you want to have a drink? I don't know how. What do you mean you don't know how? Trust me. I failed that class. I finally passed rehab after the 9th time in 10 or 20 years, but yeah, right now. Well, here's the beauty. You know what's really cool when you go through stuff like that is I sit out here and know you all got your shit in some way, shape, or form. We all do, man. But that's what's really neat. That's what makes us all the same, man. I mean, we just really, truly are. Is that helpful in the retention stuff, you guys? Okay, so we talk, and so I want to kind of recap and make sure that the retention and the marketing, helpful? You guys good with that stuff? Okay. Did I confirm some stuff you already knew? Did I give you some stuff that maybe made you think a little bit more than what you were doing? Okay.
The thing I want to chime in on that actually is that, again, what we're trying to do on the organizational level, the brokerage level, again, the concepts are very similar with teams and team leaders. And I think we're all tasked with, challenging ourselves of how do you get the furthest reach in the shortest amount of time, right? So we look for group opportunities, as you guys know, group masterminds, birthday breakfast, opportunities to get into a room with 10, 20, 30 people at a time and to spend that time and to, again, facilitating conversations, talking about best practices, doing those kinds of things. Again, get FaceTime. I think it's important for you guys all to get that FaceTime with your team and make them feel connected with you. Again, looking for an opportunity, because a one-on-one use of time obviously can be very effective for that person, but it might not be the most effective for you. Sad but true. But how do you get a far reach? Looking for those opportunities to get a far reach in a short amount of time. One little thing I'll throw in.
Yeah. What else, you guys?
You guys have anything else? I mean, you guys are doing that's effective, culture things, retention, you know, needs to be at the forefront, I think, of everything we're doing, right? It's very, very important.
You know what? Everyone wants to be loved, man. Everyone, I'm telling you, and here's this tatted up, you know, buff meathead guy telling you this. I had to go there though too to get sober. Sober isn't about not drinking, you know. Sober is about really connecting with, you know, the deepest parts of your heart and your soul and stuff like that. Doesn't mean I can't be a badass or whatever it is, you know. But I mean, a badass has a really good heart and knows they're flawed and connects with human beings at the deepest level. That's a badass, and we're seeing it. And because I've shifted them, like going from losing everyone to no one will leave now. Going from 288 million in a year and the market down 20% and doing 311 million in 6 months because of those tweaks. I promise you, in 9 months, we've started working. We didn't talk about real estate transactions. We talked about how are we going to create an experience for the human beings. I'm telling you, man, when you wake up and you have a stomach ache, when you wake up and you're nervous, when you wake up and you're sad, when you wake up and your self-doubt's there, how do you perform in your job? Like shit. When you wake up and you feel you're a part of something and you feel someone loves you and someone cares for you, they're going to challenge you, but you know that they really care for you, how do you perform? And that's your responsibility. See, leadership isn't a job. If it is, you need to, you know, fold your tent and go home and do something else. It's a freaking privilege. It's a privilege. You know, people talk to me, I had a guy say to me, "You're crazy, why are you at the gym all the time? You know, you're 52 years old, and or 50, I'll be 52, and this and that. It's 2:30 a.m., why are you doing it? Why can't you go at this time?" Because you want to know what? I get the privilege to get in front of people, and I think if you're going to talk about discipline and commitment, you better fucking walk it. And it's in all areas. I'm not saying you need to be me or I need to be you. There's a lot of things you do better than me. But what I want to say to you is just be your best to be an example in your zone of genius. Does that make sense, you guys? Do your best and know that you have a greater responsibility to stay in front of those people, okay? Because they joined you for a reason. They really did. They joined you because they love and respect you, man. People, and if they joined you because of money, then you're doing a really bad interview process, a really bad hiring process, okay?